auspicious event. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Program Director Isiba. My apologies. We, as HODs, we are called to multitask. While you are here, something must also be done. Let me proceed with the protocol and really welcome first all the councillors that are here, both the local and also the regional councillors. Also the MD of Diageo South Africa, Mr. Gavin Pike, the representatives from the youth sector. There is an ambassador, Honorable Premier, for this program. His name is Junior Makanye. Thank you very much, sir, for the progress we are making on this day, which very much is dedicated to the support we have received from Diageo South Africa. They have been very helpful in this program. This is a program, Premier, that is responding to your call that you made on the 20th of February during your provincial pronouncement in the state of the province, when you said part of your concern is issues of drug in that area we are doing with Department of Economic Development. This is also a call that is trying to refocus our young people to ensure that their energies are really focused towards positive things. They are being assisted. I was saying earlier on outside this that when I was a young public servant, there used to be a pool of typists and a pool of drivers. So if you are being appointed in government during my time post-1994, you didn't have driver's license as a requirement. You didn't need a computer on how to know how to type. All that you do, you just put anything by hand, you give it to a typist, and then it brought back to you. But the requirements by the public service of South Africa has changed, but also the requirement by private sector has changed. It needs a multi-skilled young person out of high school, that whether you are dropping from high school or you have finished your matriculation, you must be at least literate on computers, you must be literate on driver's license and have that kind of a skill. Where do you get it becomes a challenge, but not because not all schools are providing that. And this is one intervention, Premier, that we have made as a sector department to respond to your call. And the program is 100% youth. I can commit that, Premier. The entire 40,000 is purely for young people. It's purely townships, 100% townships. We've got a breakdown of how many people from each of the 26 townships. We can fully account for that. It's 70% women, youth. So we are responding to that. From our Department of Transport, we'll go through 2 phases of the program. Phase 1 is to assist young people to go through what we call learner license. That is already running. Just this morning, a number of young people have been subjected to tests. Currently at 12 right now, there are another number that is running. We are targeting that every day between now, from each month, we've got 12,000 young people that go through the tests, so that we achieve your 40,000. And then that will be completed by end of February. From the 1st of March, then we bring in the driver's license. And again, you want to run that for 6 months. You recall that legally, from the National License Program, you must have completed within 12 months. But our target was to condense this so that within 6 months, everybody must have had an opportunity. Also, the whole processing of licenses is automated, it's digital. So there's no fraud and corruption around the process of booking. So you go to your phone or laptop, you go to the website, you book a date, you get a date there without speaking to anyone, and then our DLTCs are ready to assist these young people to ensure that the program is completed within time. So if anybody does not make it within 6 months, there's still an opportunity in the next 6 months to comply with the law. In terms of recruitment, I can give you assurance, Honorable Premier and MECs that are present, that as government, we outsource this entire recruitment to Diageo. they've done that. As long the requirement was a very clear one, that you must be a South African citizen. Secondly, you must be a resident of a township. If not, informal settlement, or you must be coming out of the hostels. And you must be prepared as a commitment to participate in the program, and you must be within the age of 17 to 34 years. That's basically how the program has run. And I'm happy, Premier, that all your 5 corridors in the province are accommodated. We've got 24% coming from Tshwane. We've got 21% coming from Johannesburg. We've got 20% coming from Ekurhuleni. We've got 16% from Citybeng, and we've got 18% from Westland. So all your 5 corridors are represented, and it will ensure that the program is a successful program. Let me wish you well, Premier, and all members that are here. And this is one program that is responding to substance abuse, secondly to youth development. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you, HOD, Dr. Mtatane. You've taken my notes as well as you left. Yeah, so the HOD was just affirming the fact that the Mpia di Bofilwe. I know someone is looking at me and say, but this Mpia. You're not Bofana. And I know Premier likes teasing in that regard. But nonetheless, everyone, we hope you feel at home. And perhaps maybe this is a chance for everyone to greet their neighbor. Say hello to your neighbor. Yeah, if you are not, the good thing is that if you are not getting a good day response, you are able to tell who are your frenemies and your enemies. It might be time to change your seat. So thank you very much, HOD. We are in this instance going to welcome on stage to give an overview of the initiative, the MD, Mr. Gavin Pike. So the floor is yours.
Thanks very much. Premier Panyaza Lesufi, MEC for Gauteng Department of Economic Development, Tasneem Mutara. MEC for Gauteng Department of Transport and Logistics. I believe Ms. Kedibona Diala Klabela is not able to join us today, but in absentia, we thank you for her collaboration. The HOD for Department of Roads and Transport, Dr. Tulani Mdadane, who we've just heard from. And the HOD for Gauteng Economic Development, Mr. Blake Mosley Lefatola. Good morning to you all, and thanks for the opportunity to address you. As a bit of background to who we are as Diageo, we are the world's leading premium drinks company, and we operate in over 160 countries around the world. We're a global leader in beverage alcohol with outstanding collection of local and international brands. You will recognize some like Johnny Walker, Bell's, and Jan B, which have been around for centuries, as well as some new innovations like Tanqueray Zero, which is a non-alcoholic spirit, which we've recently just launched. But we're known for building the very best brands for adults who choose to consume alcoholic beverages. Our ambition is to become the best performing, most trusted and respected consumer products company in the world. Within South Africa, we are the #1 spirits company by value, leading with brands such as Smirnoff 1818, Gordon's Gin, and Captain Morgan Rum, which I'm sure you'll be familiar with, all of which we produce here in South Africa. We understand that a fundamental part of our success and our leadership position here in South Africa is to be responsible citizens. And this is why we put our societal impact at the heart of our business strategy. We deliver our environmental, social, and governance action plans through a program we call Society 2030, Spirit of Progress. And you can see that itemized on the banners beside me. This plan aims to address the most material issues facing not only our industry, our company, or our sector, but most importantly, the communities where we live, source, and sell. We have three priorities within this. The first is managing our environmental footprint of the products and our operations that we produce. The second is promoting inclusion and diversity. And the third, which brings us here today, is all about the positive use of our brands, what we term responsible drinking. Today's program is linked to that. We want to change the way the way people interact with alcohol for better. We stand firmly against underage drinking, and in this regard, we have an education program called Smashed, which teaches school learners about the dangers of consuming alcohol. Thank you. We do pre and post activity evaluations, so we know the impact of this program, and it's delivered through drama and interactive learning for the scholars, and we present this in various schools across Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Eastern Cape. Amongst adults, we invest in education programs to discourage the harmful use of alcohol. One of these is called Wrong Side of the Road, which is a really unique and interactive experience that allows people to have a conversation with a real drunk driver to help them understand the effects of alcohol and the shame and stigma that comes from being convicted for those crimes of drinking and driving. This platform presents a real-life scenario of our brand ambassador, ex-Kaizer Chiefs, Platinum Stars, and Maritzburg United soccer player, Mr. Junior Nkanye, who's unfortunately unable to join us today. But as his story unfolds, which he tells us, and you can watch the videos, I think we may even watch them later, you're invited as a participant to ask questions around the incidents of Junior Nkanye himself. What was going through your mind at the time? How did your family react after this accident or these incidents? All of these are things that we want people to think about before they pick up their keys and get behind a car or a steering wheel having consumed alcohol. We know that if they do, they're a danger to themselves and others on the roads. So this anti-drinking and driving learning experience we developed in partnership with the United Nations Institute for Training Research. It supports the company's global ambition to change the attitudes and behaviors of 5 million people towards drink driving by the end of 2030. But beyond responsible consumption, as a business operating in South Africa, we share the concern about the constrained economic growth that leads to high levels of unemployment and poverty in this country. As the country's president, President Ramaphosa has said, and I quote, "Unemployment amongst young South Africans is a national crisis that demands urgent, innovative, and coordinated solutions," end quote. So recent youth unemployment statistics in the quarterly labour force survey have shown that nearly 1 in 2 youths in South Africa are unemployed. As at May 2023, this total number of unemployed youth stood at 4.9 million. In response to this pressing challenge and the call from our President, we're proud to have joined forces with the Office of the Premier of Gauteng, the Department of Roads and Transport, and the Department of Economic Development to come up with this program that does not only address the social problem of road safety, but also extends to creating economic opportunities for thousands of unemployed youths, young adults, in townships, informal settlements, and hostels in the Gauteng province. The Wrong Side of the Road campaign aims to assist 40,000 young adults, as Doctor has explained earlier, by covering their administrative fees for their learner's license. Now, 10,000 of those 40,000 learner's license opportunities we will reserve for motorbike licenses to support the Project Last Mile, and I believe the MEC will be speaking about that later, which has been spearheaded to expand e-hailing delivery services of groceries into our township communities. We're excited that we've been able to create a campaign that has 2 very important objectives. The first, changing attitudes towards drinking and driving, and the second, increasing the employment of disadvantaged youths in this province. To be considered, applicants needed to be between the ages of 17 and 34, reside in a township or informal settlement or hostel, as Doctor has explained, within this province and across the 5 metros within the province. Of course, our head office is Diageo South Africa, is based over here. To achieve this goal, in 2024, we aim to take the project further by launching a second phase, and in the new year, we'll be focusing on progressing participants in the program to acquiring their actual license. And more details will be communicated about that in due course, given the popularity that we had for the initial opening. I think we had 156,000 applicants in the first program, of which we were able to support 40,000. So we'll be sharing details of that in due course. So in conclusion then, Honourable Premier and MECs, I can proudly say that as Diageo, we're committed to work with government in addressing both the societal and economic challenges facing the province and the country. Just beyond what we're doing today, we are participating in the Youth Employment Service Scheme, which gives young adults, unemployed matriculants, an opportunity to get real on-the-job experience and training as they prepare for real-world challenges of finding a job. And this increases their chances of being employed permanently. Premier, we look forward to even more collaboration with your government of Gauteng and in facilitating economic growth, promoting road safety, and responsible use of alcohol amongst our communities. Thank you for your collaboration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pike. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a meaningful intervention, Honourable Premier, led by your government in partnership with G.I. Joe. I think society in general accepts and appreciates this. A round of applause one more time. Thank you very much. Next in line, we are going to tune to a video we are going to watch by the ambassador himself, Junior Kanye. And I request all of us to channel our eyes to the screens as we look at the Junior Kanye.
This is Junior Thabo Kanye from Davidton. I was born in 1985, June 18. Ex-professional player former Kaizer Chiefs, development player and senior side as well. This is my drink and driving story. Kule car accident, umuntu walimala uqala yimidolo. Nosisi lo bengihamba naye uyiwalimala enhloko. Ngoba uyiwa collapse ngafinta. Avuka esibhedlela njengami nami ngakholapsa ngafinta avuka esibhedlela nalabantu beimoto ezithuni ezitshayisile imoto e1 bilesha abantu abayi3 i2 beyibed ngoba iyakukhoma iyavuka after boma 3 days to 4 days and then imoto enye ebehamba kuyi11 abantu abayi2 accident personal life yami affected kakhulu ngoba la bengihamba khona mangivela abantu bangafuni ukuze ukuthi ngithini after lento ezizabhalwa nge-accident ngoba kufika ama-traffic cop washo ukuthi statement bengiphuzile i-reason accident yenze lokho so bengithi mangivela even abantu bangithanda bengasana umuntu ongitrustayo abantu bathi ngidlale ngetalent so bese ngicatshiwe ngiphila nje because abantu bebazi ukuthi ngitalented but mangifuna kakhulu mara uzothi enter igama le brand lethi nisikuyo esingafuna abantu bayidente engazange idente before. Driver uphuzile akusinto right ngoba uzoluza umphefumulo wakho uzoluza abanye abantu imphefumulo yabo abanye ama-parent banabantwana njengami njengoba nginabantwana so akekho umntwana ufuna ukuthi abe yintandane ngoba yenza umuntu ephuzile and yonke into believe ukuthi ungayenza abaphuzile udriver so kusimple ukuthi uhambe emhlabeni my brother mawuphuza
behavior but also who's advocating for no Moving right along, we are going to call up on stage MEC Mutara. MEC, as you give us your remarks, please also introduce the next after you, who will be our Honorable Premier, Ndate Panyaza Lesufi. Premier Mutara. MEC Mutara.
Thank you so much, Program Director. I don't know whether you want me fired or promoted, but thank you so much. To the Premier, Panyaza Lesufi, thank you so much. Of course, much of our initiatives we can't do without your direction, your vision, your support. To the MEC, Diale Tlapela, who is not well, the MEC of Roads and Transport, thank you so much in absentia, and it's been a Mr. Tulani Mtatani, HOD of Economic Development, Mr. Blake Mosley Lifatula, as well as senior officials from both departments, officials from the municipality as well, especially Department of Roads and Transport today. Thank you, members of the media, and most importantly, our private sector partner, represented today by Mr. Pike. Thank you so much, sir, for being present, but also having come on board with an initiative such as this. So when I was appointed a year ago as the MEC of Economic Development, part of my portfolio is the regulation of the liquor industry, and that we do through the Gauteng Liquor Board. And the Premier said to me, no more licenses, we're going to reduce trade, we're stopping alcohol, so as of alcohol at all. But being an MEC of Economic Development, I have had to be an advocate for the economic impact, the positive economic impact that the liquor industry plays in our society. But I also have an obligation to ensure that those we license and regulate also contribute positively to reduce the negative impact on society. And it also has a negative impact on some economies, and also those who are unfortunately not economically sustainable or economically healthy. Alcohol tends to reduce what little economic impact and participation you do have, because people who are facing poverty, those who have other societal challenges, social stresses, tend to turn to alcohol as a crutch. And of course, I think we had a lot of back and forth between myself and the Premier. Okay, what do we do? We need the income. What do? We need to support businesses. What do? We need to be able to advocate for the responsible use of alcohol, but also have a bet. Now he's more comfortable that the contribution that you're making is not only a positive one, but it's also an impactful one. So thank you so much. And I want to challenge all the liquor, the big players in the liquor industry, to also look at creative ways of how you respond to responsible alcohol usage. So ordinarily, the question would be asked, what does an alcohol industry player have to do with driver's licenses? How are the two linked? But if we're not forward-thinking, if we're not open-minded, we're not going to see the link. And I think having had an appreciation of why you wanted to come on board, not only with your ambassador, but the program, it's very important that anybody who is going to graduate from a pedestrian to a driver understands that also driving must be done responsibly. So you don't drive, and in Transport Month, the Transport Department always speaks about, please don't drive under the influence of alcohol, don't drive when you're tired, rest between driving, be alert, reduce your speed, stay within the boundaries of the law. And I think this is a perfect fit to what Transport Month does advocate for, is the responsible use of alcohol, but also the responsible behavior of people and individuals behind the wheel. So on the 4th of August, Premier, it was a cold Friday morning when we were out in the East Rand, where we launched our last mile program, and that was in partnership with Uber Eats. And we got at the program and at the launch the announcement from Diageo that they would be partnering with us to provide 40,000 licenses. And that's across both motorbikes, like you've spoken about, and motor vehicles. And they would fund the program. They would assist us with the recruitment, like you've done, and essentially have developed and created a program that fits very much in line with our priority as provincial government, which is to support the majority of our citizens and their residents in towns, informal settlements, and hostels. So the Premier, as he's affectionately known, either Panya Panya or Mr. Tish himself or Ama 6000 or Green Beans, whichever name you want to give him. But all of it is in an effort to support, directly intervene, and improve the lives of majority of our citizens in the province. And like I say, they reside in townships, informal settlements, and hostels. So at our Last Mile project with Uber Eats, that has also created additional interest in the industry, Premier Mile, and that's also going to see local last mile companies that are based in townships that have got a very local, a very localized consumer base and customer base to also be supported in the logistics space. So 10,000 of these licenses will be towards the support of the Last Mile project, and that is for motorbike licenses. The rest, as you've heard, 30,000 will go to driver's licenses of motor vehicles. Those who will be licensed with motorbike licenses will then again be linked to our Last Mile partnership with Uber Eats and others that are also now coming on board, because a prerequisite for you to be a participant in the Last Mile program is that you must have a driver's license. And of course, you must have a license of a motorbike. So how did we partner also with the Department of Roads and Transport is to make sure that their driver's license testing centers are equipped, are capacitated to be able to absorb the additional stress that they are going to receive from just the increase and the influx of additional numbers of licenses, both learners and then later on license testing. And we're very grateful to the Department of Roads and Transport who have definitely come on board to be able to assist us. Some of the learning, the testing centers will also be open on weekends, but we want to make sure that by the end of February, we would have concluded the 40,000 participants so that we can get onto the next phase, and that is the actual license, because you know you would have your learner's license valid for a year. We want to also, this intervention, while yes, it's focused on young people, it's a youth intervention, it's for those also who ordinarily on the back of their own strength would not have the resources to be able to access a learner's license and later on a driver's license, because there is a cost involved. And often, even us who are salary and waged earners have to make very difficult decisions every day about whether you buy a loaf of bread or a liter of milk or a liter of fuel in your car, because the cost of living has increased just so much. And if you are in these communities that are by and large very disadvantaged, one households, if they are lucky, with one earner, a main breadwinner, with many mouths to feed, a learner's license or a driver's license is not a priority, as much as it is an enabler for either a job opportunity or to be employed, or to be an employee yourself. So this opportunity will not only make you employable, but it's also going to give you an opportunity to be later on and work for yourself or become an employee later on. There are so many hindrances, so many things that are bottlenecks, so many things that are stumbling blocks for young people, especially in our society, to get from point government on board. It's not costing us anything, Premier. So I don't have to go to the HE and do many things, but what it is of course, we do have the support of the Department of Roads and Transport, So that added capacity and the added work does come at a cost. But of course, there's always a cost benefit to the programs that we are doing, and that's what we're interested in. So our last mile program is going to be sustainable. Our last mile program is going to be successful. Our last mile program is going to make meaningful impact in the townships, but also we hope that we're going to see people being more employable, an increase in employment numbers, an increase in jobs figures, but also an increase in those who are now able to start their SMME, start their business, because they are going to be lawfully allowed to be on the road. Together to initiate this program. On the 4th of August, when we announced it, the Premier was so excited. We had applications on his Twitter feed directly, and we had to stop everybody who say, no, the Premier's not dealing with applications. Please wait. You'll be told where to apply. And because the Premier is very active on social media, I think every week he kept asking me, MEC, when is this application starting? Like, I can no longer accept CVs and applications, so can we just start this program? And fortunately, it has taken us just over 2 months now to start the program. All of those participants, we've gotten good feedback, positive feedback. People have expressed that they've received their SMS. And interestingly enough, Premier, when you receive SMS, even before you get to write the test, you are asked questions about responsible drinking and your attitude towards alcohol. So, and that is an added element that the AGO has put into the program. So it's really holistic, and we believe that the 40,000 who will go through this program will be more conscious about their driving behavior, will be more conscious and responsible in their consumption of alcohol, and ultimately be more responsible and law-abiding citizens in our province, because that's what we want. Premier, we want law-abiding citizens because we need to reduce the incidence of crime in our province. So thank you very much. With that, let me introduce the Premier. He is not a stranger to any of us, well known and a person who has skills development and education very close to his heart. So I'm glad that you spoke about your program in schools. A man who has really grabbed the bull by its horns and taken this executive to look at areas that are beyond even our mandate. So we're looking at water, we're looking at electricity, we're looking at additional partnerships, we're just looking at, and very bold in the initiatives that he has introduced, but always at the core of what we do is to focus on communities that are disadvantaged, communities that are still in the periphery of economic participation, and still those that are disadvantaged even close to 30 years after democracy. That person is none other than the Premier, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi. Please join us to address us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, MEC, Roti Queen. Truly appreciate that introduction. You forgot that. No, that is automatic. I didn't want to speak about it because there's Junior Kanye here. So you forgot that while we're dealing with electricity, we had a problem of water. When we moved to deal with water, we now have problems of eggs. Something that I never thought, whether we have to deal with it and attend to it as well. Let me acknowledge and thank you so much, Program Director. Mr. Mpja was saying to Gavin here that he missed that important point to say that all dogs are held somewhere, so we must be free. Forgetting that your surname, if you translate it literally, it means a dog. So we want to thank you very much for providing the necessary leadership. I want to thank the entire leadership of the IGO, South Africa. Gavin, I want to thank you with your entire leadership. They know I've interacted with them on various occasions, even though they no longer invite me to attend some of these popular events. I don't know why, but the invites have dried up. I used to go to some horses in Durban, so I'm no longer invited. I don't know why, but I hope it's not my interest. But I want to thank you and your entire leadership. I want to appreciate the presence of our MECs, in particular MEC Mutara, the HODs that are here, and the officials from our departments. I also want to appreciate the presence of the MMC, MNISI, and other councillors that are here, our honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest challenge of the era that we found ourselves in nowadays, it's many people doing lots and lots of talking and doing less and less of work. I hate talking, and I love people that do their work. And I'm proud today that I'm in a company of an institution that is sharing this particular vision. Less talk, more work. When we shared and communicated this program to our constituencies, they were not only excited, they were overwhelmed. They felt for the very, very first time, here is a government that is responding to their needs, and here is a government that is responding to things that will make their lives better. I must be honest, Governor. At one stage, I was scared, as the MEC indicated. Everything that is a device that I own and people know, from my email, WhatsApp, SMSs, including where I stay, everyone came with their application requesting that they be involved part of this program. This was truly an eye-opener. I didn't know so many South Africans don't have driver's licenses, and I didn't know so many South Africans are going through difficulties just to access and be enrolled to have a driver's license. For you to make this service available to our people was not only heartwarming, but was the beginning of a good relationship and friendship with you. As MEC Mutara indicated, I've got a negative relationship with alcohol, but a positive relationship with our institution for the investment that we've put in this program. It's not only positive, but it's responsible trading and responsible citizenship, but most importantly, creating opportunities for those that need opportunities. My only limitation, I must be honest, when I receive your invite, is that I'm a man of big numbers. I don't want somebody who comes to me and say, I want to create 200 or 100 jobs, or I need 6,000 above. If you speak about 100, go somewhere, don't come to me. So when I received your invite to come here, and I said to my team that is working on my diary, are you sure this event is not taking place at FNB Stadium or Orlando Stadium? Because I need 40,000 of those people to be here at the stadium. But I was informed that this is a process of launching and assuring people that have applied that it was not a waste of time. I'm accused of creating gimmicks, and today we have proven this was not a gimmick. It was a real investment in the future of our province. Our province, if you check the number of cars that we have and the number of accidents that are recorded literally every week, you may assume we are in a war zone. We need to pause and start the education of educating our drivers to be responsible and to ensure that they don't do things that are not correct. But we have to balance it with the economic opportunities that we need in our province. I always tell traffic law enforcement agencies, and I think having this part you will like it, I always tell them that if our citizens are having nice time at all the taverns and all the areas where there are events, don't put police traffic cops to stop them to enjoy themselves. Focus on fighting crime so that they don't have this scare that traffic cops are anti them getting excitement. But what we need is responsible driving, so that those that enjoy their drinks must have somebody who can drive them when they go back home, so that they don't create this kind of incidents that you are seeing. If you check our hospitals, every Friday evening, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening, the numbers are scary because people consume alcohol and go behind the driver's seat and create the problems that you have. So this program, it says, let's change that mentality. You can enjoy your drink. You can enjoy the benefit of being an adult, but be a responsible driver and provide the necessary support and assistance that is needed or created by this partnership. But to me, is to have a sustainable intervention. 3 years ago, the Department of Basic Education here in our province took a decision that all our grade 11s must have a driver's license by the time they end grade 11. This was a major intervention that assisted a lot. And I want this program to twin up with that particular program so that we know we are building for the future, so that our children during the classroom, they know that they have to be responsible drivers. If we can ensure that there's no single grade 11 learner that leaves our education system without a driver's license, we know that we've invested in the future and will not have road rage, will not have the kind of accidents that we are having in our province. This is investing in the future, and we appreciate this partnership. But we are affirmation that this is not the end of this program, that we'll continue to work together. We welcome this particular decision because we, as we are part of this Transport Month, we want to be better citizens. We also want to ensure that those that are within utilizing our roads do so in a responsible manner. But we are thinking big as a province. We are also changing things so that we can manage the challenges that we are facing in our province. I want to start with this one. From the 1st of November, actually next week, Monday, we are launching new number plates, car number plates, so that we can eliminate people that are using our roads that are not legalized to use our roads. The reason why we are introducing new number plates in our province is because a motor vehicle is in the center of every criminal activity that is happening in our country. Either the car is hijacked, stolen, or the car has a false registration number. If we are committed to fight crime in our province, there is no way that we can fight crime without focusing strictly on the registration regime of motor vehicles in our province. And therefore, it's crucial that we overhaul the entire registration regime so that it's tamper-proof and no one can create a similar car like yours purely because they've produced a wrong number plate that is similar to a car. We are excited about this program because it will also usher in the new era of energy vehicles in our province. We'll be in a position to isolate new energy vehicles through the new registration number plate and also isolate new cars that we want to utilize our new number plate so that no one can duplicate your number plate and no one can use your car wrongfully and take your car even outside our province. This is an investment that excites us, and this is an investment that we believe is a beginning of fighting crime in our province. But we are also excited in the number of young people that responded to all our programs. We advertised 8,000 posts as part of job creation in our province, and we received 1.4 million applications for just 8,000 posts. Collectively, as the leadership of this province, we took a decision that we will never write a regret letter to the 1.4 million that applied. That out of the 1.4 million people that applied to NASI's PANI program, we'll profile each and every applicant to check their skills limitations, and where we believe we can improve their skills limitation, the government that I have the honor to lead will fund that skills development program. For example, if an applicant could not qualify for a post, we'll pay for those 4 modules so that that particular applicant can finish their degree and get a better understanding in their field. We are committed to change the landscape of unemployment in our province. And the best way to do so is to empower our citizens with proper skills. And it starts in the classroom. Our education system has been refined now so that skills development becomes the center of everything that they do. Every grade will be profiled, and every grade will be linked to a certain skill, starting with our grade R learners, so that every grade R up to grade 3 learner in Gauteng must at least know how to swim, the sign language, but most importantly, how to ensure that there is no gender violence in the future in our schools. These are the skills that we want to employ to our young people in our classroom. And anyone, because we live in an era of high buildings nowadays, Mr. K, anyone between the grade 3 and grade 6, they must know how to fix an elevator or a lift, and they must have the necessary skills so that they can be in a position to repair them if they are broken. These are the skills of the future and the skills of the economy that we need in our province. Those are within grade 8 and grade 6, where we are teaching particular skills so that our children can have the relevant skills. And your contribution today is giving them that opportunity in grade 11 to leave grade 11 with a driver's license so that they don't do wrong things when they finish high schools. So we don't want all our grade 12s, when they arrive at grade 12, they are only looking for a matric certificate alone. When they fail matric, they have nothing to show. But if we have a multi-certification program throughout our academic program, at least even if they can fail matric, they'll have one certificate, including a driver certificate, which we believe is a skill that can assist us. This will push back the many vacancies that we have within our government institution. So all our young people that have applied for nurses, Spanish jobs in our province, we are profiling you, and we will be in a position to give you the opportunities that will excite you. When I live here, there are almost 8 universities that are utilizing our database. They also want to tap in that database. Let me take this opportunity to welcome other companies, the private sector and other institutions. We've got a database of 1.4 million young people that are looking for opportunities, that are looking for skills development, that are also looking for jobs that you can create in our province. If we do this work together, we will definitively for transport and their teams for really ensuring that this program moves from of people talking to a program of people doing, so that we eliminate lots of talks and improve lots of work. Less talk, more work. Thank you so much.
Yes. Premier, you inspire confidence, you inspire hope in this province. We are honored and privileged to be led by a visionary such as yourself. Thank you, Premier. Don't tire. Premier. Where I come from in Limpopo, we just Sikis. Sikis Mawon. No, thank you very much, Premier. We have reached the end of our program. We are going to request the closing remarks from the of Economic Development, HOD. I don't see HOD. Where is it? Oh, HOD, if you may come and close for us, give us a closing remark, we would really appreciate it.
I hope you can take what you give when your world unfolds.
Thanks, Program Director. You are very polite. You're the Program Director, and you're saying that you're requesting me, when in fact you're giving me an instruction. But thank you very much, Program Director. And my responsibility is just to make a couple of concluding remarks, and which is what I'll do. The first is just to indicate, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to thank our Premier for the visionary leadership that he's actually providing to the province. Today is this particular partnership with Diageo.
But there have also been many other interventions that have been made under the leadership of the Premier, which is the one that is spoken about, Nasispan, which is one. The Green Mambas that our MEC has actually referred to, which is employed about 6,000 youths, you know, in the Department of Agriculture. And I can go on and on and on. But the reason why I'm only mentioning those two is just to indicate that from Gauteng provincial government side and under his leadership, government is concerned about the youth unemployment that we have within the province and the challenging economic climate, you know, that we actually have. So, Premier, we need to acknowledge it, and we mustn't talk about these things when you are gone. We must say it now whilst you are still alive, to indicate that the work that you are doing and the interventions that you are doing is noted and is pretty much appreciated by all of us who are residents of Gauteng. This partnership, Premier, that you've initiated with Diageo focuses on substance abuse primarily, but our MEC has also indicated how it is actually linked to the potential economic opportunities, you know, that it can bring and that reside within this particular partnership. And during the briefing session with Mr. Gavin Pike, we've indicated that, you know, there's other opportunities that we also have as provincial government, which is primarily captured under the Township Economic Development Act, where there's different programs that we are actually running under the Township Economic Development Act. And at an appropriate time, I will speak to my fellow colleague HOD so that we can explore those with yourselves and see what is the appetite, you know, of forming additional partnerships so that we can grow this partnership, you know, that we actually have. So, Mr. Pike, we would like to, on behalf of Gauteng Provincial Government, we would like to thank you for partnering with us in relation to this particular partnership. But we would also want to say that, look, also have an appetite so that when we come knocking on your door to say that, look, these are some of the issues that we are addressing as provincial government, what's your appetite, you know, to also join us with respect to that particular partnership? Because remember, what we are doing through these partnerships is to create a win-win situation for all of us. A win-win situation for government, for yourself, but most importantly, you know, for the residents and the community of Gauteng that we're actually serving. I would also like to indicate, Premier, that it's going to be important that we thank our MECs, MEC Tasnim Mutara and MEC Diale Tlabela, who unfortunately is not here with us, because it is because of that collaboration between the two departments, where we break down working in silos, that this has actually matured to where it is. HOD Mdadani will indicate to you that there are many other, you know, partnerships that we have between, you know, the two departments, and we believe that that's the way to go within government to ensure that there's interdepartmental cooperation, there's departmental, you know, partnerships, and of course with your office, the support that we get from your office, Premier, to ensure that all of us join forces to make sure that, you know, the work that we are doing as provincial government is actually a success. Let's not forget the presence and also thank the MEC for Economic Development of the City of Joburg. We know that your challenges are huge. You've got a reliable partner within Gauteng Provincial Government with respect to local economic development, where we can hold hands in terms of ensuring that there's local economic development. We must do that, so that it is to the benefit of the people of the province, you know, in the end. And I also would like to thank, you know, the ward councillor that has also graced, you know, this, you know, particular occasion. Program Director, you've steered this ship very well with your jokes and your humor. Thank you very much for bringing us to where we actually are today. But most importantly, it's not going to be appropriate to end these closing remarks without recognizing and encouraging, the beneficiaries of this particular program. I think that it's going to be important that you actually invest your whole heart and effort, into this particular opportunity, that you work with the Roads Department and the Economic Development Department to the end of this particular program, because we would want to see yourselves actually having accessed a form of economic opportunity after this program has been completed. There must be a change in your condition that you actually have before you entered and when you actually leave. And the commitment from Gauteng Provincial Government is to hold hands and to walk this journey with yourselves to ensure that it is important that at the end of the journey, there's light at the tunnel. Either you are in some form of employment, opportunity, or you are on the verge of becoming, an entrepreneur. So in that regard, we would like to say, good luck, walk the journey with ourselves, and let's make sure that your condition actually changes. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Thank you, HOD Mostly Lefatola, for those encouraging words. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our launch, and we appreciate each and every one of you, the Honorable Premier, MEC Motara, MEC Kidiboni Dialetlabela in absentia. Thank you very much, MD, for this progressive partnership. We want to appreciate that we will soon realize, Premier, in a not so distant future, a lot of successful young people. And I know, Premier, you are going to be taking us to a stadium, and we are going to be unveiling those young people. So thank you very much. As we say, Ogumhlope, don't drink and drive, and let's exercise drinking, a positive and responsible drinking behavior. Thank you very much.